Perfect ambience to speak about this. Why there is a hyped attention given to people from the village areas. Now, we are not doing it. We are not doing it intentionally, but there are people from villages saying, don't give us that hyped attention, because that can lead to a detrimental effect. It can cause a damaging effect. Therefore, what are we supposed to do? How do we help learners from different background? It is by giving equal attention, equal learning opportunities, sharing resources, but creating walls, boundaries, and discriminating the options, the facilities, or wherever they belong to definitely is not going to help them. And when it comes to urban cities, metropolitan cities, or even the towns, do you think people don't face any problem? It's not like that. They also go through different problems, issues, concerns, and there are people who literally cannot speak with a flow when it comes to their native language. So it is important to understand the problems faced when there is mental pressure, stress, and that can be the same for people from both village and the urban areas. I've already done another video on this particular topic, but today it's all about the 3 pointers. So when people from village areas ask me not to give them that extra attention, sabotaging and destructing the actual attention and option that can open doors of learning opportunities, don't you think we have to revise and review the unnecessary attention that is given to the people belonging to deprived factions of the society? So let's look at these pointers so that we help them instead of giving them too much attention and then leading to a fall from the pedestal. So I am going to take you through these pointers. Stay with me so that you can help your learners, co-learners, even as tutors, you can help yourselves to understand the problems faced by people. It's not because they don't have resources. It's not because they don't have any access to learning sources. It's only that they feel these 3 pointers are working in their life. Why do we always keep these village areas and rural areas in mind? Of course, there are people with less facilities. It's not that the others do not have the brains to think. And today I can see some tutors giving too much attention to people belonging to the village areas. It's good to give focused attention, but if you're going to give too much attention that's unwanted, it can definitely make it detrimental. Everybody is working hard. We shouldn't forget the fact that people from the urban cities, metropolitan cities, rural areas, suburbs, everybody, those who really want to work on a skill are focused and they are working on it. It's not very easy to get the right mentor, the right platform, because everybody is into marketing, everybody is into teaching, everybody's into promotion. It's all part of the business. And we know that we have been through this online world of teaching and still we are continuing it. You have to keep these pointers in mind so that you can help your co-learners. If you're a tutor, you can help yourself and your students. The first one is about the resources. You know that some people don't have enough sufficient resources, but that doesn't mean everybody belonging to the urban cities, the metropolitan places definitely have access to everything. They have access to many things, maybe libraries, books, but they may not have sufficient fund, amount, help to purchase these things. You know that core structure, demand, and coordination, everything change with the topography, with the terrain, and also with state, with cities, okay, and with the sections of the society that you're dealing with. It changes from place to place, and because of that there is a demand. In some places there is a demand. In some places people may not have even interest in learning something, but English is a language that interests everybody. So resourcefulness is the first point. There is a prevailing assumption that rural areas are devoid of resources, whereas urban areas are privileged by default. When someone from a village speaks fluent English, it is viewed as a monumental triumph over impossible odds. So you know that when somebody speaks in English from a village, we feel encouraged, we feel inspired. It's good because they too can do it. That kind of feeling is there. But seldom we realize that they have also put in effort. And monumental triumph is something that can make it detrimental. Or when people bring about the hyped notion or the hyped promotion just to focus on a particular person from a village area where they don't really appreciate the efforts. It could be that they are speaking in English because of their efforts, but wrong, for all the wrong reasons, they are given attention. And there are a couple of them who come and tell me that, ma'am, that is actually causing the damage. Great that we are encouraged, but we also have access to resources in the village. The only thing is people don't understand the importance of it. And you may have friends from the urban cities. Good people will be there who will definitely contribute resources. And today we have online options to purchase books, to study from people. If you genuinely request for concession or any other kind of resources, there'll be people helping out. I have done that for many people. It's given for free on YouTube, otherwise it's given at a minimum rate as part of a course. But the problem is they may not understand the importance of learning or even understanding the approach towards the language. So resource is something that is accessible today to everyone, but the only thing is it's more challenging when it comes to certain areas, even in our country. It's very challenging to get the copy or maybe to even get access to a PDF file. But today, I think with YouTube, with social media and all, I think you can get access to many things. You can learn from anybody. So don't give the monumental hype and monumental attention. You can give attention, you can learn from different types of people instead of giving that tagline or the label saying that, oh, this is something that's impossible and it's made possible by people from village areas, when we already have been witnessing. We have already been witnessing people, IAS officers from village areas. Do you think you have watched an IAS officer or a person with so much knowledge and wisdom from a village area only recently? Maybe we have access to such people only through YouTube or maybe through the social media, but it has been happening for years. The only thing is maybe because we don't read the newspapers or maybe because we didn't know about it. But today we can't say that. The second point is very important, and that is romanticism versus realism. So generally people think that those from the village areas are simple, humble, they don't know anything, or they are naive to an extent. See, there are a lot of people who live a hard life, hardcore life, where they have to go for work, they may have to study if they're interested, or they can also be pushed to certain boundaries. This happens with people belonging to the urban cities and to many areas. You may think that people coming from metropolitan cities or urban cities have got everything. It's not like that. They are also pushed to pressure. They also face a lot of health issues just like people from the village. Maybe the food, the climate, the topography, or maybe certain other things are better when we look through the pastoral lens. But that doesn't mean that they are more pure and these people are more simple, or people belonging to the metropolitan cities are hyped and they know English, or maybe they are perfect in English. There's nothing like that, okay? Nobody comes from a background that guarantees everything, especially when it comes to learning a language or developing our skills. Language becomes better only when we expose ourselves to different people and different circumstances. Otherwise, how did we have all these authors from villages? How do we read about village life through beautiful books? That's because they would have experienced it at some point. It's because they also decided to share it with other parts of the world. They would have gone through hardship. So we have a big area of language developers who would have gone through these kind of circumstances. So never take it for granted. Never see that as a romanticized idea, because it is available to everybody in equal proportions. Especially today, it is accessible. You have free resources on YouTube. The only thing is you have to put the effort and just be simple towards learning. Don't make it complicated. If anybody from the village area is listening to me, don't make it complicated. That's it. You too can do it. Or if anybody from the urban city feels that more concession is given to village people and I'm not given enough attention, don't take it that way, because there are people who really understand the difference. The third one, English is never a status symbol. English is a language like any other language, but never underestimate it. It is a global language. The language itself doesn't have any kind of horns on it, as I always say. But in India specifically, there are people who think, as Indians, there are people who think that village people cannot learn it, or they may not be able to conquer it. It's not like that. There are people who really portray their ideas, exhibit their ideas out on YouTube channels and social media platforms. But I feel that it's hyped for some wrong reason when it comes to some people, not everybody. Some people take that for granted and try to destroy the image of others without realizing that there is something known as balance. You may feel that one particular area gives you a lot of success, but then after some time you may feel that it's going down. Especially when it comes to learning a language, you may not be able to do justice to it every time. So it is not a status of simple. It is actually a status of learning, where you expose yourself to another culture. Okay, it has got nothing to do with their English, your English, or this and that. Because recently I came across a YouTuber who said that there are a lot of tutors from the UK making mistakes on TikTok. If your friends have got access to TikTok, you can see the number of mistakes made by tutors from the UK. And for all the right reasons. There are people going through several problems when it comes to learning a language. Some people from the urban cities face even weird, bizarre, and sometimes serious problems. Like they would have had problems like talking with a flow, even in their native language, and they consider it a very serious problem. So we have to look at the speech, we have to look at the thought flow and things like that. It's not just about language. So when you begin speaking a language, don't discriminate saying you're from the village, you have conquered English, that is a monumental triumph, you have actually done something against the odds, nothing like that. If you really put in effort, anybody can go to that extent. And we have different inspiring stories like that. So let's not give attention to just one part, thinking that they are deprived. When you show a lot of unnecessary attention, when you give a lot of unnecessary attention to a particular group, that can create a damaging effect. That can also make people lazy. So if you're helping some learners, if you're a tutor, if you're also a learner by yourself, you need to listen to this story. I had a learner long back. I don't have electricity here. I always attend classes from the terrace. And I asked him, what do you do? He told me, I'm a farmer. So I said, farmers are great. You have a lot of things that you can do on your own. But he said, no, I'm just developing my farm. It has been there for years, but I'm into learning English. I'm developing my farm. It's not that I want to teach people, but I just want to learn to speak fluently. And I remember he took 40 sessions from different tutors on that platform, and then he was able to share wisdom, I would say, not just English. So he told me every day he found time to sit, read, listen, write something, and he never created this wall or boundary saying that I am from the village, you have to give me special attention. I think that makes a huge difference. When I asked him, he told me, ma'am, basically I'm a farmer, can you hear me? So there was a problem in the network. He asked me, ma'am, can you hear me? Because I'm attending the session from the terrace. And I said, it's a beautiful terrace, I can see the sky. And he said, yes, ma'am, but there are some difficulties. I'm not able to get the network. So you have problems with resources, the internet facility and all that. But his story was so inspiring because he told me he found books from different places. And he told me, ma'am, you wouldn't believe people don't know where to find these books or where to really get them. They're not aware of the beauty of approaching a language. So we had a lot of ideas shared over maybe a set of 10 classes. And then he said, ma'am, I think I'm done. I have learned so much. I just have to keep working. So there are people who think or approach the language in that way. Instead of saying give us for free, people from the urban cities are better, or they are given a lot of attention, nothing. Today I feel there is no attention given to real learners from rural, village and urban cities. So let's dive deeper into this topic because it's really important when it comes to attention and approach to learning. It's all that you're a part of a journey. Accept that. It's not that you belong to the village area, you don't have access, and because of that, you should be given special attention. Everybody deserves special attention. Everybody goes through some kind of hardship. So please take it that way. Let's create a space of equality when it comes to language learning. Happy learning.